Welcome to Davis Reed Alumni Gym for Georgetown College men's basketball on stretch. A Mid-South Conference matchup featuring the 16th-ranked Martin Methodist Redhawks and the 17th-ranked Georgetown College Tigers. This was originally slated to be a doubleheader today between the women and the men, but the women's game had to be postponed today and postponed to a later date. So just one game on the docket here for today. Georgetown coming off of an ugly weekend. Last time the Tigers took the floor, of course, losing on a buzzer beater at Shawnee State back 9 days ago. And then last Saturday, just a trip to Thomas More that Georgetown would rather forget. The Tigers with their worst loss in decades as they fell to Thomas More 88-48 in that game. So 2 straight losses for the Tigers, looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak, something that has not happened in nearly 4 years. Keep in mind, though, Georgetown fans, similar kind of thing happened back in 2013. The Tigers went on the road to Cumberland's and were absolutely blown out of the gym, losing that game by nearly 30 points back in 2013. The Tigers, it was really a rallying cry from that point, and Georgetown went on to win the national championship. So not the end of the world, but Georgetown sits 7-3 on the year right now, 4-3 in the Mid-South Conference. They are in 6th place in the league. Meanwhile, Martin Methodist off to a red-hot start, 10-1 overall, 6-1 in the Mid-South Conference. They are off to their best start since 2014-2015 when they started the year 17-1 and route to a 30-win season. Looking deeper into the numbers, Martin Methodist has played a lot of close ball games in the conference. The one exception was a blowout loss to Shawnee State back in December. Their 6 wins have come by an average of less than 5 points per game, so they've tended to play games very, very tight. This is their first trip to Davis Reed Alumni Gym as a full-fledged member of the Mid-South Conference. Of course, Shawnee State sits on top of the Mid-South Conference right now. They are 13-2 on the year, 9-1 in the league. They rocketed into the top 25, in fact, all the way up to number 7 in the most recent NAIA poll. So they are the highest-ranked team in the Mid-South Conference. Georgetown, meanwhile, for the first time in 3 years outside of the top 10, a streak of 20 straight polls inside the top 10 for Georgetown comes to an end. But today is a new day. Georgetown will get a couple of pieces back here today as Michael Teray and Trey Jones will be back in the lineup for Georgetown today. Both missed a number of games. Teray missed 4. Jones has missed the last 6. They are both back in uniform today. Talked to Michael Teray a little bit when the teams were going through their earlier warm-ups, and he was more than chomping at the bit to get going here today. He will come off the bench for Georgetown in this one. Let's talk a little bit about Martin Methodist. They're comfortable playing at a high pace. They average 83 points per game, giving up about 75. So chance for Georgetown here to rack up some points here on the day. A couple of names will be calling out probably a lot in this one. Darren Jenkins, 6'4 senior from Hilton Head, South Carolina. 19 points per game. He's bumped that up to 24 points per game over his last 4, coming in playing really well. Had 30 in a win over Lindsey Wilson 9 days ago. Also, Adrian Hudson, 6-foot sophomore from Springfield, Tennessee, averages nearly 21 points per game. He is in the top 10 in the NAIA in both assists per game and steals per game. So a well-balanced player, can get it done on both ends. He can also get to the foul line a lot. Most recent outing against Cumberland, he went to the foul line 18 times, connecting on 14, 28-point night there. And in a game back against Cumberland's in December, 14 of 17 for the line, went for 33 points. Had 18 points, 11 assists in a win against Bethel. So those are 2 key names to keep an eye on. And we'll see how they do against this Georgetown team. Coming into today, that 48-point outing for Georgetown was just one that seemed nothing could fall. Tigers made just 8 baskets in the first half, and it didn't really get a lot better in the second. So Georgetown right now averaging just 78 points per game, well below where they have typically been since Chris Briggs has been the head coach for the Tigers. Chris Briggs in his 10th season at the helm at Georgetown, 256 wins against just 64 losses at his tenure. Of course, a couple of national championships. And Georgetown, again, looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak for the first time in nearly 4 years. 2017 was the last time that happened. In fact, over that time, Georgetown lost 5 out of 6 at one point. But they'll try and change things here today against a Martin Methodist team coming in playing very, very well under third-year head coach Dugan Line. 38-33 his record is overall in the season. So you do the math there. They have really turned things around this season. Let's go to the starting lineups. First for Martin Methodist. It begins with Bailey Talley, a 6'8" sophomore from Bogalusa, Louisiana, 6.5 points, 3 boards per game. Had 14 points against Bethel on January 2nd, 7 of 7 from the field. Darren Jenkins, 6'4" senior from Hilton Head, South Carolina, 19 points, nearly 6 boards per game. He'll play about 32 minutes per night. Brady Brown, 6'6" sophomore from Summertown, Tennessee, 5 points, 5 boards per game. He does have 23 rebounds his last 3 games. Adrian Hudson, 6' sophomore from Springfield, Tennessee, 21 points, 6.5 assists, 3.5 steals per game. And finally, Tad Sively, a 6'5" freshman from Hartselle, Alabama, 4 points, 6 boards per night. He'll play about 21 minutes. This is his 4th start of the season. And for Georgetown, 7-3 on the year, now 4-3 in the Mid-South Conference. They are ranked 17th in America. Buddha Jones, 6'9" senior from Los Angeles. He's 5th in the NAIA with 28 blocks on the season, 7th in blocks per game at nearly 3 per night. Chucky Wilson in his 5th appearance here for Georgetown, 6 points, 3 boards per game, the transfer in at the semester break from Southern Indiana. Jaquay Wales leads the team in assists with 45 on the year. Needs to get back to the foul line a little bit more. He's been settling for the 3-point shot as of late. We'll get into more of that as we go along. Darren Boyd, a 6'2" redshirt freshman from Princeton, Kentucky, 18 points, 3 rebounds per game. He had 26 in the 1-point loss to Shawnee State 9 days ago. And Kyron Jones had a really, really tough weekend against Shawnee and Thomas More last week. And now before that, in a Georgetown road win against Campbellsville, he went for 16 points and 20 rebounds. He averages 13.6 boards per game. That is number 2 in America at this juncture. Again, Georgetown will have the services of Trey Jones and Michael Teray back in the lineup here today. So specifically with Teray, Georgetown will get an added boost down on the block, which should help things out here today against a tall Martin Methodist team. The Redhawks wearing the all-red road unis with the white numbers and trim. Of course, Georgetown, the home whites, black and orange accents. Georgetown, with a win here today, would pull within a game of Martin Methodist in the conference standings, move to 5-3 overall. Busy day of Mid-South Conference action. Life is on the road at Campbellsville today. These games as scheduled. Thomas More on the road down in Tennessee. They're taking on Bethel. Cumberland's travels to Lindsey Wilson, and Shawnee State is at Freed Hardman. Buddha Jones wins the tip. Georgetown begins with the opening possession. Redhawks team allows about 75 a night. Georgetown right now averaging 78. Darren Boyd wants a 3. It is good. Darren Boyd has had an excellent year from the 3-point line, 44% from downtown. It's his 28th 3 of the season, and Georgetown is off to a good start. Here is Sively, and now they're working around to Jenkins. Jenkins being worked on by Darren Boyd. They like the speed of Boyd on Jenkins. Sively working against Kyron Jones. Jones will have a strength advantage there all night long if that match stays in place. 8 seconds to shoot. Jenkins cut off by Boyd. Now deep to Hudson. Hudson with the shot clock down to 2. Hudson negotiating all the way through the lane. Swatted away by Chucky Wilson. And they'll call a shot clock violation, a rule that I would love to see change there. And this is called at all levels. Georgetown clearly had possession going the other way, and that's one I'd like to see. If the other team clearly has possession of it, let them go, because right there you're rewarding Martin Methodist and allowing them to get set offensively after a bad offensive possession. But there you see the hops of Chucky Wilson. He's just 6'2", but he can jump as high as anybody on this team. Buddha Jones, out to Jaquay Wales. Georgetown run a 5-out offense. Kyron Jones likes those corner threes. Won't take it this time. Now Darren Boyd with 10. Boyd working against Jenkins. Now back to Wilson. Shot clock down to 5. Wilson negotiating. What a spin in the lane. Lost his footing as he went to the baseline, though. And the Redhawks are pushing the pace. This side, Sively matched up by Wilson and cut off. Good hustle back by Chucky Wilson. 90 seconds in, and the Redhawks looking for their first points as Hudson goes baseline. Wales sticks right with him. Georgetown bench really loving the defensive effort early on. Jenkins against Boyd. Shot clock down at 5. Jenkins fall away from 15. Good. Good defense from Boyd. Better offense from Jenkins. And Darren Jenkins gets the Redhawks on the board. 18-10 remaining in the first half. Kyron Jones on the roll down low, swiped away by Jenkins. Martin Methodist forced about 17 turnovers per game. And on this side, in transition, Jenkins gets called for the walk. Good show by Wales to force that. Georgetown not forcing a lot of turnovers through the opening 10 games. The Tigers just turning teams over at a rate of 11 times per night. That is something the coaching staff, I know, has been working on to try to get that turned around and get those numbers up. One of the reasons why Georgetown's only averaging 78 points per game, not a lot of turnovers to get going in transition. Kyron Jones down the lane, gets one in the air, and puts in the baby hook. Kyron Jones, his first basket. He averages 18 a night. 5-2, Tigers in front. 2.5 minutes gone by here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Jenkins working the baseline, gets an angle, and Boyd. Darren Boyd comes through with the rejection. Jenkins wants a foul. He won't get it. Here is Wilson to the far corner. Boyd, three. Just a little short there, and Talley comes away with the board. Hudson going to try and push the pace. Through the lane. Awkward shot there, and a foul is going to be called on this side. I think they're going to get Sively for a push. And that is indeed a case. Tad Sively gets called for the first foul of the ball game. But you see the pace early on, and that could become a factor as things go on. It is very, very warm here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. We'll see if that plays a factor for Martin Methodist. I'm already seeing a couple of guys for the Redhawks breathing pretty hard. Georgetown, of course, they're used to it here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. That could play a factor later on in the game. Here's Jones inside, kicks it back out to Wales. Now Wilson and Boyd. Buddha Jones this corner. He'll take a three. We're in and out. Buddha Jones has been taking a lot of threes this year. That's his 28th three-point attempt of the season. He's only connected on 6. This side, Adrian Hudson knocks down a 3. His 22nd of the season. We're tied at 5. Darren Boyd, long 3 to match. No. And right now, Martin Methodist cleaning up the glass. Brady Brown to the baseline is cut off and gets back to Hudson. Not already the 4th three-point attempt. Hudson trying to feed that one inside. Difficult pass, and eventually Wilson comes away with it. Threw that right at the feet of the 6'8" Bailey Talley. Jones will try another 3. Buddha Jones, that is, gets this one in rhythm. Buddha Jones with it. Georgetown now 2 of 5 from downtown, and they have the 3-point lead. Hudson this side. Checking Wales, movement inside. They're trying to get Sively free at the top. Here he is. Sively working the left hand, got a slip in the lane. Euro step, and he is knocked to the ground. And I think Buddha Jones will get called for the foul here, and that is the case. First foul of the game against Georgetown. Sively will go to the line. He's a 61% foul shooter on the year. It's the first.
Checking in for the Redhawks, number 23, McLaughlin.
Muhammad El Gahari checks in for the first time for Martin Methodist, 6'8" sophomore from Egypt, wears 23, as Sively goes 2 for 2 from the line. 15:35 to go in the first half. 8-7 Georgetown leads. 2 early threes for Georgetown, 1 from Boyd, 1 from Buddha Jones. Wales out this side. Chucky Wilson wants a 3. Way too strong. Kyron Jones trying to tap it out. It's eventually deflected forward by Hudson. Great play by Adrian Hudson. Hudson up this side. Wilson got it off the backboard. That'll be goaltending. Wilson tried to time it up all the way. I think Hudson got it up on the glass just a hair quicker than Wilson anticipated. And the goaltend gives the Redhawks the lead. First lead of the afternoon for Martin Methodist. Jaquay Wales stops at the foul line. Bad pass, and El Gahari picks that one off. Now trying to find a way to Hudson, and he does. Hudson at the foul line, now kicks it back. And now Sively. El Gahari will take a 3. Way off the mark. He's 4 out of 14 on the season. Kyron Jones, left side to Darren Boyd, kicks it back out. Jaquay Wales, long three. Too much time to not let it fly. And that one knocked down. Wales has his 11th three on 20 tries on the season. That's 55%. And Georgetown back in front. Jenkins working against Boyd, going baseline. Stays on the baseline, somehow found it inside of Sively, and he's going to the foul line. Chris Briggs wanted to travel on Sively as he put a pump fake on as he arrived down on the block, and Kyron Jones gets called for his first foul. It's Georgetown's second. Sively hit 2 for 2 before, now make it 3 for 3 on the day. Seth Johnson checks in for Georgetown, his 4th appearance of the season, I should say. 6'3" freshman from South Oldham High School. Chucky Wilson will get a breather. 61% shooter, Ted Sively, 4 for 4 from the line thus far. He now heads to the bench. Devin Klein checks in, 6'3" freshman from Laverne, Tennessee. Plays about 20 minutes a night. He is solely an outside shooter for Martin Methodist on the offensive end. Kyron Jones pushed out near the three-point line. Going to work baseline. Spin in the lane. Nice touch shot from Jones. Felt the double team coming and pulled up immediately, and Kyron Jones has 4. Hudson right by everyone for Georgetown. Can't teach speed, and Adrian Hudson has it to burn as he went right through the Tigers' defense. We're tied at 13. Kyron Jones loves this corner three, and you see why. He's shooting 48% from three-point range on the season. And after last weekend, when he went 4 for 17 from the field against Shawnee State and Thomas More, Kyron Jones is 3 for 3 tonight. Jenkins trying to pass it to the corner to Klein, and Martin Methodist will keep it, and Michael Teray checks in for Georgetown. Teray's first appearance for Georgetown since December the 5th, and the Tigers win against Bethel. Five to shoot. Here is Jenkins working right side. Got Boyd up in the air and will go to the line. Chris Briggs telling Darren Boyd right there, you just got to stay down. Boyd's first and the team's third. 13:07 to go in the first half. Darren Jenkins at the line. He's a 74% foul shooter. Martin Methodist as a team shoots 71%. And they are 5 for 5 thus far in this one. Georgetown, meanwhile, yet to get to the charity stripe. Aaron Whitmore will come in for the Redhawks. 6'5" junior from Memphis. His 11th appearance of the season. He averages about 13 minutes a night. One more for Jenkins. Got it to go. So 16-15. Georgetown with the lead, 7 minutes in. Wales picked up the dribble, now far side to Kyron Jones. Kyron Jones touch pass to Darren Boyd this side. He'll take the corner three. Left it short there. Seth Johnson chases down the offensive rebound for Georgetown and gets it to the top. Jaquay Wales. Kyron Jones. Michael Teray wide open inside. Georgetown misses him. Kyron Jones. Corner three is in and out, and that ball is tapped out. Last touch by Klein. Martin Methodist coaching staff thought that was off Teray. The officials disagree, so Georgetown will get it back. And for Martin Methodist, Marcus Lee Jr. checks in for the first time wearing 25. Lee Jr., 6'4", junior from Memphis, Tennessee. It's his 4th appearance of the season. Originally was going to redshirt. His 4 appearances have all come in the last 4 games for the Redhawks. Here's Darren Boyd, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Get that screen from Teray. Teray rolls down low. A lot of contact. Kyron Jones with the follow, and Kyron Jones now with 9. And Georgetown's lead back to 3. Here is Klein at the top. Devin Klein has made 17 field goals on the season. 13 of them are from downtown. This time he'll work inside, trying to pass it back in the middle. Seth Johnson doing the dirty work, getting down low, and Georgetown forces the 4th turnover of the night for the Redhawks. Good work from Johnson, getting the offensive rebound the last time out, now forces a turnover. Boyd scooping there, had it deflected on the way up by Whitmore, and now the Redhawks pushing. Hudson going to work against Seth Johnson down the lane. Toure rejects that one out of bounds. Hudson understood he's probably going to have a quickness advantage against anybody Georgetown can offer, with maybe the exception of Jaquay Wales. And Michael Toure with good help defense to take us to the media timeout. 11:40 to go in the first half. Good action back and forth. Kyron Jones with 9 early on. He has half of the Georgetown total. The Tigers lead Martin Methodist 18-15 on stretch. Hydration will be the name of the game, and looking at both benches, you can see a lot of players that have been on the floor thus far grabbing those water bottles to keep themselves hydrated, because it is a very, very warm Davis Reed Alumni Gym. And keep in mind, there are still no fans here in attendance. The Georgetown cheerleading crew is here today along the sideline. But other than that, we just have the 2 teams and essential Georgetown personnel here in attendance in this one. Martin Methodist will inbound from the end line. Jenkins will do it. Trying to hand it off there. Boyd nearly took it away. Boyd really riding on Jenkins. Push back from Jenkins, and he gets a step back there. Cleared just enough space away from Boyd to knock down the 17-footer, and Darren Jenkins has 6. These 2 teams really just been trading baskets the last 5 minutes or so. Toure inside, pass way too hot to handle there, and off the mark from Boyd. It's Georgetown's 3rd turnover of the night. Jenkins working against a smaller Seth Johnson. Johnson, a good job to fight through the screen and stay with him. Now Sively. Sively, a foul's going to be called here. That is on Darren Boyd, and that's his 2nd. It's the team's 4th. So 9 minutes into the game, Georgetown's leading scorer has picked up 2 fouls, and for the moment, Chris Briggs will leave Boyd in the game. And I wonder here if Martin Methodist will try and get Jenkins isolated on Boyd. Instead, they'll work inside to El Gahari, and he slipped as they'll say juggle the ball. Long 3 is not there from Marcus Lee, and Georgetown is off and running. Toure back to Boyd. Then now Wales. Left side's open. Wales backs off. Toure will try a 3. Got it down! Just the 2nd 3 of the season for Toure in 5 tries, and Georgetown has its largest lead, the 5th Georgetown 3 of the first half. El Gahari inside, working against Jones, and a walk is called. That 2nd pump fake did him in on that one, the 5th Redhawks turnover. Georgetown 5 of 11 from downtown. This is a Martin Methodist team that only allows their opponents to shoot 32% from 3-point range. So a good sign for Georgetown in the opening 10 minutes. Kyron Jones works against Marcus Lee. Jones will have a strength advantage there. That ball nearly stolen away and is by Hudson, one of the best in America. Adrian Hudson misses it, but Jenkins there to follow up as nobody else for Georgetown got back. Jenkins now with 8. Kyron Jones cut off with the left hand by Lee. Now right side to Toure on the wing. Toure trying to handle there. Got it to Jaquay Wales down low. Dribbled himself really to no man's land. Kicks it out to Seth Johnson. He'll try a 3. Got it to go! First 3 of Seth Johnson's brief college career, and it's the 7th of the half for Georgetown. Check that, make that the 6th, but nevertheless, Georgetown 6 of 12 Three-pointers from Buda Jones, Kyron Jones, Seth Johnson, Jaquay Wales, Darren Boyd, Michael Teray. And Georgetown has a lead of 5. The Tigers 6 of 12 from three-point range. Martin Methodist is 6 of 13 from the field. The Redhawks have made up the difference a little bit at the line as they're 6 of 6 for the line. Georgetown has not been to the charity stripe tonight thus far. Martin Methodist, in fact, has only been signaled for 1 foul in the first 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So timeout there called by Georgetown. And Adrian Hudson will bring it up the floor. Jenkins deep with 10 seconds. Jenkins hesitation move on Buda Jones. Jones stayed down and forced the travel. Good job there by Buda Jones, understanding he had 5 inches of height to his advantage and made Jenkins make the first move. And Darren Jenkins gets called. It's the 6th Redhawks turnover. That's also a good sign for Georgetown. Martin Methodist turns it over about 14 times per game. Now the Redhawks have gone to a zone. Seth Johnson, the far side, going to work to the baseline, kicks it to the near side in Wales. Chucky Wilson's back into the game for Georgetown. Buda Jones, 3, too strong there, and a long rebound comes down to Sively. So one thing you're seeing with Georgetown early on is those long three-point shots not lending themselves to offensive rebound opportunities. Jenkins, 3, knocks it down in front of the Georgetown bench. Jenkins already with 11. And Martin Methodist back within a deuce. Chucky Wilson on the left wing. Can't get it inside to Kyron Jones as Martin Methodist stays in this zone. That pass deflected by Jenkins. Now Hudson comes away with it. Adrian Hudson this side out of control there and is going to get bailed out with a foul call. Not sure what else Jaquay Wales could do on the play as Hudson went stumbling into Wales. And Jaquay Wales gets called for his first foul, the team's 5th, and Georgetown sends Trey Jones into the game. Brother, he and Kyron Jones are brothers. No relation to Buda Jones. Just the second appearance of the season for Trey Jones. Hudson thought about it in front of Trey Jones. Now spins baseline. Chucky Wilson with the help defense. Buda Jones with his 29th rejection of the season. Already the 4th block of the first half for the Tigers. They are 5th best in the country, averaging 5.5 blocks per game as a team. Jenkins nearly brought that left foot up. Near side, Lee working against Seth Johnson. Reversal back to Whitmore. Whitmore inside. Nicely done with the left hand, Aaron Whitmore. We're tied at 24. 7:35 to go in the first half. Chucky Wilson. Now back to Trey Jones. Now, this is the challenge for Georgetown. Who runs the offense with Jaquay Wales on the bench? Seth Johnson to the corner. Chucky Wilson doesn't want the 3. Floats the pass over to Trey Jones. Shot clock at 5. Buda Jones. Floater in the lane is not there and ripped down by Lee. Martin Methodist so far +4 on the glass. Hudson inside. Lost it on the way up. Sively can't get the follow. Buda Jones knocks it away, and now multiple bodies down behind the play. Doesn't matter as Chucky Wilson takes it this side and drops the hammer. Jenkins, good job by cut him off by Wilson. Now this side, Hudson will take a 3. Off the back iron, and Buda Jones has his first board of the night. Trey Jones in transition to his brother Kyron. Kyron Jones down the lane to Buda Jones. Had Seth Johnson open for a moment. Now extra pass to Wilson. Johnson back. He'll take another 3. This one is good. Seth Johnson coming in, unafraid to let it fly, and the freshman's 2 for 2 from downtown. He shot 44% from three-point range at South Oldham High School. Georgetown with a quick 5-0 spurt. Hudson going inside. Blocking foul going to be called as Johnson tried to come through and draw the offensive foul. It's Seth Johnson's first and the team's sixth. Help defense will remain paramount in this game on Adrian Hudson. He has feet as fast as anyone in the Mid-South Conference. We've seen several examples of that early on. He will go to the foul line for the first time today. He's a 73% shooter. First one is good. He now has 8 points. And Martin Methodist thus far is perfect from the line. And should Hudson convert on the second free throw, he will get his first breather of the game. It won't be a long one. Hudson averages about 33 minutes a night. 6:06 to go in the half. Of course, the immediate timeout comes at the under 6 timeout, at the under 6 whistle stoppage. And Hudson, of course, misses it. And Buddha Jones has to jump out of bounds to keep that in play. Otherwise, it would have gone back to Martin Methodist. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Georgetown by 4. Trey Jones has options either side. Takes the screen from Seth Johnson. Now Michael Teray at the foul line. Lost it, got it back. Still nowhere to go with it. Wilson now has it. 8 seconds for Chucky Wilson. Buddha Jones now to Teray. Down low on the block. Teray, nice reverse lay-in. Used the rim as an added defender to get around Marcus Lee. And Michael Teray with 5, and Georgetown has its largest lead at 6. Jenkins has had the hot hand early. That one too strong, but a long rebound pulled down by El Gahari. And the Redhawks will try it again. Lee inside. Trying to cup that against his wrist. Good rebound inside by Michael Teray. Chucky Wilson ahead. The lob up top. Broderick Jones with the slam. Perfect pass from Wilson to Buddha Jones, and Martin Methodist will take a timeout. And Buddha Jones a little shaken up on the play as he met a Martin Methodist player right at the summit for the slam. But a timeout for the Redhawks. Perfect feed from Wilson to Broderick Jones. 5:02 to go in the first half. Georgetown stretching the lead out. The Tigers lead Martin Methodist 33-25 on stretch. You can't teach 6'9", and Martin Methodist found that out the hard way on that highlight slam for Buddha Jones. Well, we've got a break here. You see all the social medias on the screen. Give us a follow on there. Follow us on the Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. All your Georgetown College fill, you can get it all of those places. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Keep up with Georgetown on a daily basis. That's also your best outlets, along with GeorgetownCollegeAthletics.com, to stay tuned on any and all schedule changes that do happen, because as we've seen throughout this interesting season, schedule changes have really come on a daily basis. Martin Methodist out of the timeout, trailing by 8. Hudson will get an extended breather on the bench. El Gahari back out to Klein. He's a three-point shooter and rattles it in. Devin Klein hits his 14th three of the season, and it is the third of the night for the Redhawks. Teray, 17-footer. Rashad Bishop into the game for the first time for Georgetown. Back this side, Jenkins through the lane. Swatted off the glass by Teray. The 6th block of the half for Georgetown. Up ahead, Chucky Wilson, nice Euro step through to lay it in. That took a matter of seconds to go from defense to offense, and that looks like the Georgetown College offense we've been so accustomed to seeing over the years. 35-28, 4:05 to go in the first half, and now an errant pass out of bounds as Lee couldn't connect inside. It's the 7th Martin Methodist turnover, and Adrian Hudson right back into the game. Kyron Jones will be back in for Georgetown on the other side of our media timeout. 4:05 to go in the first half. Georgetown up a touchdown on Martin Methodist, 35-28 on stretch. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, Georgetown has pretty much led throughout. Martin Methodist had a brief lead early on, but it's been the Tigers, thanks to hot outside shooting. They've stretched this lead out to 7. Georgetown 7 of 14 from three-point range here in the first half. That's 50%. Trey Jones with it, lob inside. Rashad Bishop, nice catch in the lay-in and the foul. Slow rotation, and Bishop took a hard spill. He was fouled by Brown on the lob. It's Brown's first, team second, and Rashad Bishop will go to the line. That was an awkward spill he took, catching that lob, but a good job to not only catch it, and then use soft touch to lay it in off the glass. Bishop, the freshman out of Ballard High School in Louisville, 6 of 14 from the line on the season. No problem on that one. Looked much better than that percentage-wise. It's Georgetown's first free throw of the game. The Georgetown Tigers now lead Martin Methodist by 10. Hudson working against Trey Jones. This will be a fun matchup here. These are two quick guards. Hudson, nice pass over to Klein. The three is off the mark. Kyron Jones rips the rebound away from Brady Brown. That is a grown man rebound from Kyron Jones. Chucky Wilson took a shoulder from Devin Klein and warrants the whistle. Starting to get a little more physical as these two teams are getting comfortable with one another. Klein picks up his first. It's the team's third. 3:29 to go in the half. Georgetown by 10. This is Bishop going to work one-on-one with Brown, working to the baseline. Nice pass over to Trey Jones. Extra pass to Kyron Jones. A little too tight a space there. Trey Jones would have been better served just to take the little 5-foot floater. 6th turnover for Georgetown. Hudson gets a screen, now works behind it, now crosses Trey Jones back over, puts on the brakes, and is fouled by Trey Jones. That's a veteran move from the sophomore Adrian Hudson. Crossover once, then come back and put the brakes on. Trey Jones gets called for his first. It is the team's 7th, and so Hudson will step to the line for one and a potential bonus. Martin Methodist just 38% from the floor in the first half, 9 of 24. Georgetown's defense has been very good, and Hudson misses the rebound as Kyron Jones pulls down his 6th rebound on his way to his 7th double-double of the season. Kyron Jones this side working against El Gahari. Jones working inside, lost it on the way. That was swiped away by Brown, and so Georgetown will get it back as Buda Jones and Jaquay Wales come back in for Bishop and Trey Jones. Good work by both Trey Jones and Rashad Bishop in their minutes of action just now. Well done by both. Wales nowhere to go, and eventually Johnson catches it deep over the top of Jenkins. Seth Johnson wanting to work, now out to Kyron Jones. Shot clock down to 8. Wales down the lane, floater not there, and Brown has the board. Good job to shield off Buda Jones for that one by Brady Brown. He'll take a 3 on this side and knocked it down. That's just the 5th 3 of the season on 27 tries for Brady Brown, but it gets the Redhawks deficit down from 10 to 7. Georgetown's loving that pick and roll offense right now. It's worked several times. We'll see if they look for it here. Wilson picks up the dribble. Shot clock down to 10. Georgetown working a little more deliberately against this zone right now, and Buda Jones gets called for a travel as he shuffled the heels back into the defender. 7 Georgetown turnovers. Two minutes to go in the first half. And the Redhawks can cut the deficit down a little further as we near the break. I think if Martin Methodist could get the deficit down anywhere between 5 and 8 points into the locker room, they'd be happy. They have struggled on offense here in the half. Hudson going to try and change that, puts on the brakes, meets Jaquay Wales. Pass blocked away by Buda Jones, and Seth Johnson comes away with it. It's the 8th Martin Methodist turnover. Wales inside, found Wilson with the left hand, puts it in. Clever move by Chucky Wilson, used the rim as an added defender, And Chucky Wilson now with 8 first-half points. Inside, good job by Jenkins to get that shot up and through Buda Jones. Jenkins now with 13. Like that, Wilson now with 6 points here in the half. I had it down as 8. Buda Jones, corner 3, not there, not the shot Georgetown wants. Seth Johnson inside, getting that rebound, and he's going to the line, and he hits the deck, and a flagrant foul signaled, I think, against Brady Brown. That is indeed the case. Coach Duganline does not like that one. But nevertheless, Brown is called for the flagrant one. It'll put Seth Johnson at the line. 2 shots and the ball with 49 seconds to go in the first half. And rattles out. Brown now heads out. That was his second foul of the half. He's replaced by Whitmore. One more free throw coming for Seth Johnson. Got it. Johnson now with 7 here in the first half. That is already a Georgetown career high. The only points he had scored coming into this game was 2 against IU Southeast. Wales has to eventually chuck it deep to Kyron Jones. And Jones into the backcourt there. I think the Martin Methodist bench wanted a walk. Jones had the right foot over the end line, so no worries about over and back. Wales, floater inside, in and out, and he gets his own offensive rebound. 35 seconds remaining in the half. Georgetown now starting to do a little bit better work on the offensive glass. It's the 5th offensive board. Wales, step back 3, way off the mark. Kyron Jones taps it to Buda Jones. Jones, got to be careful there, and he is fouled. I think they're going to get Klein with it, and they will. That is Devin Klein's second. That's the team's 5th. 20.5 on the clock. The shot clock will sit at 20, so Georgetown can essentially take it all the way down if it so chooses. Here is Johnson near side working against Jenkins. Seth Johnson, left-hand move, gets called for the walk. Drag at pivot foot. Had the right idea there, trying to work around Jenkins. But the travel is Georgetown's 8th turnover of the half. 16.8 on the clock, and now the Redhawks can get within 6 or perhaps 5. And Hudson will bring it up. 10 seconds. Hudson evaluating, now down to 5. Adrian Hudson sticking to Quay Wales on him. Snapped it off. Long 3 is way off the mark, and the ball goes into the corner. No harm done for Georgetown as we go to the break. 7 first half threes for the Tigers and a balanced scoring attack. Kyron Jones with 9. Seth Johnson with 6. Seth Johnson with 7. Chucky Wilson 6. Michael Teray, Broderick Jones 5 apiece to lead Georgetown. Darren Jenkins leads the way for Martin Methodist with 13. Top 20 matchup here at Davis Street Alumni Gym sees Georgetown leading Martin Methodist at halftime 41-33. We're at halftime at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Georgetown leading Martin Methodist 41-33. Taking a look at some of the first half stats here. Georgetown getting it done on the offensive end. The Tigers 16 of 32 from the field in the first half, 50%, 7 of 15 from three-point range. Balanced scoring attack across the board. Nobody with more than 9 points in the first half for Georgetown. Kyron Jones, high point man, 9 points. He has 6 rebounds. 6 first half blocks for the Georgetown Tigers. Also playing a major factor here, really trying to deter some of these quick guards from Martin Methodist from driving inside. Georgetown has sent a number of those back. Both teams have 8 turnovers in the first half. Points off turnovers favored Georgetown 10-4. So Tigers doing a much better job taking advantage of the Martin Methodist miscues than the other way around. For Martin Methodist, 11 of 27 from the field, just under 41% in the first half, 4 of 10 from downtown. They are 7 of 9 from the line, so that's helped make up some of the difference from all those Georgetown threes in the first half. Looking at scoring for Martin Methodist, Darren Jenkins with 13 in the first half, Adrian Hudson with 8. Nobody else with more than 4 for the Redhawks in the first half. Sively with 4, Brown and Klein with 3, and Whitmore with 2. And that's all the scoring we have to speak of. Critical game here for Georgetown to get this win here, get to 5-3, 2 games over 500 in the conference, and as it stands now, would pull into a really a 3-way tie or 4-way tie for third place at 2 games over 500 in the league. Of course, the other games on the men's side of things still to take place later today, as this was originally slated to be a doubleheader here between the women's and men's programs of our respective schools, but the women's game had to be postponed, so it's just the one game here today. The other men's games, again, later on tonight. Looking at Georgetown in terms of total scoring, we mentioned Kyron Jones, 9 points, 4 or 5 shooting in the first half, and 6 rebounds to lead Georgetown. Jaquay Wales, 6 assists in the first half. He has a 3-pointer made and also a couple of rebounds. Seth Johnson, his best night at Georgetown uniform thus far, 7 points and 2 rebounds in the first half for the freshman from South Oldham High School. Chucky Wilson got to a nice start early. He has 6 on 3 of 5 shooting, has a couple of assists in the first half. Michael Teray, first game back, first game played in about 6 weeks. He has 5 in the first half. Buddha Jones with 5, and then Darren Boyd and Rashad Bishop each with 3. Boyd picked up 2 first-half fouls and had to miss most of the half, so that's why Boyd only has 3 in the first half on 1 of 5 shooting, 1 of 4 from three-point range. But if you've been following Georgetown all year long, as we know you have here on Stretch, you know that Darren Boyd is more than capable of going off here in the second half and could easily wind up with another 20-point night as he continues to impress in his redshirt freshman year, and will certainly be in consideration for not only Mid-South Conference Newcomer of the Year, but also all conference honors at the end of the season. So still a long way to go from there. We'll see what happens in that regard. Georgetown's next game, as far as the men are concerned, will come this Monday afternoon when the Phoenix of Cumberland University come to town. That's a reschedule from a originally scheduled game earlier in the season that was postponed. Again, that will be scheduled for this coming Monday, a 1 p.m. tip, and we will have that game for you here on Stretch. And then the Tigers are on the road next weekend against Bethel and Freed-Hardman. And then the final weekend of January, the Tigers back home, scheduled to be back home against Cumberlands and Pikeville. And should those games be played as scheduled on those dates, we will have them for you here on Stretch. Both teams now just returning to the floor. And with that, as the two teams are going through their warm-up routines right now, I'm going to step aside for just another moment here. Second half just around the corner as 17th-ranked Georgetown leads 16th-ranked Martin Methodist at the half, 41-33 from Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Martin Methodist coming into the game on a 5-game win streak. We'll have to do some rallying here in the second half to beat Georgetown. Of course, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Martin Methodist has played and won a lot of close games. Just in the last 5 games they've won in a row. They beat Campbellsville by 7, Dalton State by 6, did beat Bethel by 16 in a high-scoring affair there, 102-86. But the last 2 games, a 7-point win against Lindsey Wilson, who is 1-8 in the league, and then a 3-point win against Cumberland, who is currently 500 overall. So, again, they have played Mid-South Conference games relatively tight throughout the season. So, the close quarters here for the Redhawks, nothing new. And so I'm sure they're not going to feel too rattled right now, trailing by 8. Of course, Georgetown led by as many as 10 in the late minutes of the first half. And now it's Martin Methodist's turn to see if they can answer here in the second. Both teams will trot out their original starting 5. Here is Darren Jenkins with it. 5 of 8 from the floor in the first half. Got that one over the top of Buddha Jones. Weak side rebound pulled down. The shot was missed by Bailey Talley. Talley started the game, didn't see a lot of minutes. Wilson, 15-footer, good in transition. Chucky Wilson now with 8, and the Georgetown lead quickly back to 10. Wilson's now 4 of 6 from the field. Georgetown now with 17 made baskets. They made 18 the entire game against Thomas More 1 week ago, in which Georgetown was taken behind the woodshed and then some, losing by 40. The worst loss in the Chris Briggs era. And I couldn't even find the last time Georgetown fell by that many. The worst previous loss for Chris Briggs was 34 4 years ago when Cumberland's came into Davis Reed Alumni Gym and hit every single three-point shot they essentially threw up. I remember calling that game here. It was unbelievable. 3 from the top. Brown, no good. Good rebound inside by Sively. As Buddha Jones hits the deck, Sively gets the basket. First point from the field for the night for Sively. He now has 6 in total. Wales left side to Boyd. Let's see how aggressive Darren Boyd is early in this one. He'll defer to Wales right now. Boyd gets a screen from Buddha Jones. Jump stop at the foul line. Now back to Buddha Jones. He'll take the 17-footer. Rattles home. Soft touch from the big fella from Los Angeles. And Buddha Jones now with 7. And the two teams trade baskets like they did for a good portion of the first half. Hudson's 3, good. Second 3 of the night for Adrian Hudson. He now has 11. 5th 3 of the night for the Redhawks. Here's Kyron Jones. Spins into a double team and gets called for the walk. Good help defense from Bailey Talley as Kyron Jones got a little too aggressive that time trying to work inside. Talley now heads out. Muhammad El-Gahari checks in. He did see action in the first half. Did the Egyptian native. Muhammad El-Gahari did not score. Did have 3 rebounds and an assist in the first half. Here is Jenkins. El-Gahari now posted up on Buddha Jones. He'll have a strength advantage down there. Working inside. Jones with the rejection. And they'll say Brown touched it last. It's the 7th block of the night for Georgetown. They came in to today's game averaging 5.5 blocks per game, which is already 5th best in the NAIA. 45-38. Wales with the handle. Whips it back to Wilson. Doesn't want the 3. Back over to Kyron Jones. 15 on the shot clock. Kyron Jones looking to really make his move there. Stumbled and threw it away. It was either throw it away or get called for a walk. Bad pass from Hudson as he was trying to give a no-look drop off to Jenkins on the block. 9th Redhawks turnover. Martin Methodist has had more success here today thus far, working in the half court. Transition has been a little sloppy. Here's Boyd. Jones wants it on the block, working against Brown. Doesn't want it. Boyd will take a 3. Got it to go. Darren Boyd has his 2nd of the night, 29th of the season, and the Tiger lead back to 10. 17 minutes remaining. Sively with the crossover. Kyron Jones sticks right with him. Now El-Gahari working against Buddha Jones. Elgahari working. Got a forearm in the back there from Buddha Jones and a rather easy call there. Buddha Jones has his hands on his hips, but that forearm shiver would put most smaller men down on the floor. Pretty easy call there for the official to make. We had inadvertent sounding of the horn there. Looks like we're okay now. Hudson will throw it deep to Jenkins. Boyd has wanted that assignment of Jenkins all game long. Hudson in the lane. Got to go over the top of Jones, but couldn't get it the shot to drop. Wales comes away. Has Boyd on his left, Kyron Jones on his right. Kyron Jones lays it in. Nice feed, nice finish in transition. Kyron Jones, the first Georgetown Tiger to double figures. He has 11 on the other side. Jones doesn't find Jenkins, and Jenkins hits the three. And he now has 16 points and a timeout quickly taken on the floor. It'll be a 30-second timeout taken by the Redhawks as Jenkins has his first points of the half. Jenkins with 16, Hudson with 11 to lead the way for Martin Methodist, as is the case most nights for the Redhawks. It's been one of those two that have been the high point man for most of the season. Of course, Martin Methodist at the semester break lost senior Teddy Pfeiffer, who was averaging 17.5 points through the first 8 games of the season for the Redhawks. He's not in uniform today, and haven't received word as far as his status going forward for the Redhawks. But again, he was averaging 17.5 points per game, but has not been with the team since December 15th. So 50-41, Georgetown leads here, 16-18 remaining. Martin Methodist was 4 for 10 from 3 in the first half. They're now 2 for 3 here in the second. Jones working against Elgahari. Similar strength between those two, but Elgahari has 4 inches in height to his advantage. Wales, left side. Kyron Jones loves that corner three. That time off the mark. Buddha Jones taps it out to the three-point line. Elgahari traps it and gets it for the Redhawks. Kyron Jones now 1 of 3 from downtown tonight. Hudson thinking about it. Jaquay Wales just sitting on that left hand. Elgahari inside, working his trying to through. Kyron Jones held his ground. And Kyron Jones is going to get called for a foul, get called for a hold. That's Kyron Jones' second, then the team's second. Hudson trying to split a double team, now gets to the top. Elgahari, open three, off to the right side. Buddha Jones has it. Had Darren Boyd down behind the defense, and Jones didn't see him. Chucky Wilson, long two, good. Chucky Wilson now with 10, and now the ball's turned back over. Wales lost it on the sideline. Good job by Hudson to just get a fingertip on that. And it's back to the Redhawks. Georgetown's 11th turnover. But the difference remains in this one, points off turnovers. Georgetown leads that area 13-4. Chance here for Martin Methodist to try and address that. Hudson stops inside. Late minute pass inside to Elgahari and gets it to go. First points of the day for Elgahari. 52-43, Georgetown in front, 14:40 remaining. Darren Boyd into the corner to Wales, working baseline. Extra pass to Kyron Jones, and he'll back it out. 10 seconds. Kyron Jones in the lane, jump pass out to Boyd. Boyd right around Hudson, all the way to the rim with the right hand, can't get it to go. Buddha Jones, nice tap inside. Just the 5th second chance point of the day for Georgetown, but an important one there. On this side, Jenkins trying to force the issue. Georgetown wants to push. Chucky Wilson up ahead, can't get it to go. Well defended by Elgahari. Jenkins never got back on defense and has an easy lay-in off the cherry pick. Jenkins now with 18. And once again, the lead cut from 11 to 9. The Redhawks have just never really been able to get a sustained run going in this game. Wilson at the elbow is fouled by Jenkins, trying to get it to the left side to Wales. It's the first foul of the half against the Redhawks and the first foul of the game against Darren Jenkins. Michael Toure checks in. He'll take the place of Buda Jones. Whitmore and Lee enter the game for the Redhawks. Boyd sets in the lob. Toure, nice job to catch it and go back up with it. How many times did we see Georgetown run that with Chris Coffey over the last 5 years? Toure did a nice job to grab that one with the left hand, gather himself, and then lay it in. 56-45, Lee hands to Whitmore. Boyd staying with Jenkins right side. Jenkins still gets it on the rim and finishes. Darren Jenkins now with 20. Back the other way, Chucky Wilson missed the lay-in. Toure will get called going over the back of El Gahari, and Toure looks a little shaken up and doing it as he came down a little awkwardly on the play. It's Toure's first and the team's third, and Brady Brown re-enters for the Redhawks. El Gahari will check out. Looks like he's got a bit of a limp there as both he and Toure took an awkward spill going for that rebound. Georgetown 7 of 11 from the field here in the first half, in the second half, I should say. Martin Methodist is 5 for 11. Brown trying to go behind the back, not going to work against the stronger Kyron Jones. 11th Redhawks turnover, and Jones with no numbers backs it out. Well, wise decision by the redshirt sophomore. Toure, nowhere to go. Now finds an angle against Whitmore, but Whitmore closes out well. Wales back to Toure through the lane. Kyron Jones doesn't want the three. Boyd finds a crease. Nice pass inside to Toure for the lay-in and the foul. You have to respect the driving and finishing abilities of Darren Boyd there, and the Redhawks defense did, and great recognition by the redshirt freshman to dump the ball off to Toure for the basket and a potential three-point play as Whitmore is called for the foul. Seth Johnson into the game now for Georgetown. He had 7 first-half points, couple of rebounds. Chucky Wilson will get a breather. Michael Toure in 4 games this year, 9 of 14 from the line. That one barely draws iron. Georgetown now 2 for 4 from the line tonight. Hudson trying to get fancy handling on Wales, and Wales sticking with him. Hudson trying to go left side, challenged at the rim, follow-up by Whitmore, and Kyron Jones will get called for a foul even though he was underneath Whitmore on the putback attempt. Jones doesn't agree with it, and I'm with him there. If anything, that's a play on. I'm not saying there was a foul on Whitmore, but I don't know how you call a foul on Jones when he was in prime position for the board and Whitmore came from behind to get that one. Tough break there for Kyron Jones. It puts Whitmore at the foul line. He's 1 for 4 on the season, make it 2 for 5, his 3rd point of the afternoon. Buda Jones in for Kyron Jones. Under 12 timeout coming. I don't think Chris Briggs wants to take the chance of Kyron Jones picking up a 4th foul. It has been balance across the board for Georgetown today, as the free throw is no good. Nobody on the team for Georgetown with more than 11. That's Kyron Jones, Chucky Wilson with 10. Everybody else in single digits, but Georgetown has gotten production from everybody that's been in today. Lee, good job to slave that one in and do the smart thing to throw it to the other end of the floor. Even if you give up that possession, you're going to allow your defense to remain set. So Lee did the smart thing there. And with that, they determined he did possess the ball, so the shot clock gets reset. It leads to a timeout. 11:56 remaining in the ball game. Georgetown still in front, leading Martin Methodist 58-48 on stretch. Georgetown choosing to drive the ball more here in the second half and not rely on the three-point shot. The Tigers just 1 for 2 from three-point range here in the half after 15 three-point tries in the first half. But it has benefited them as Georgetown right now is 8 of 12 from the field here in the second half. Back in action, and Martin Methodist has gone to the zone once again. Did this about the same point here in the first half. Took Georgetown some time to adjust. Teray, near side corner, fires a bullet at the top. Boyd trying to get through the lane with the right hand. Puts the English on it for the basket. Darren Boyd now with 8. The other side, Klein's 3 is well short. Gets his own rebound back and then throws a pass that's intercepted by Boyd. 13 Martin Methodist turnovers. Teray, the right hand. Seth Johnson cutting baseline. Extra feed out to Buda Jones. And Georgetown will slow down for the moment. Wales wide open at the top. Book it. Timeout. Taken on the floor as Wales connects on Georgetown's 9th 3 of the afternoon. And Georgetown immediately calls a 30-second timeout as the Tigers now have their largest lead at 63-48. Good zone offense from the Tigers to move around. Johnson with the cut on the baseline. And Boyd with the dribble penetration. Collapsed that zone. And Jaquay Wales wide open at the top. Knocks it down. Wales now 12 for 21 from three-point range on the season after 2 today. And Georgetown continues to make Martin Methodist pay for their turnovers. 20 points off of 13 Redhawks turnovers tonight for Georgetown. On the other side, the Tigers have turned it over 12 times, but Martin Methodist has only converted that into 6 points. So now the Redhawks looking for answers, trailing by their largest deficit of the game at 15. Lee on the baseline, right by Seth Johnson, and Buda Jones coming with help defense. Commits a foul at the Summit. That's Buda Jones' 3rd and the team's 5th. Marcus Lee looking for his first points of the afternoon. He averages about 6 a night in 18 minutes. And originally he was slated to redshirt this year, and at the semester break took that red shirt off. It really doesn't matter all that much as far as eligibility goes because the NAIA, as we know and documented, has waived the year of charged eligibility to all student athletes this season. So Lee returns next year. He'll be a junior again if he so chooses. Georgetown around the top. Again, Martin Methodist in this zone. The 2-3 look. Trying to cut down the dribble penetration. Buda Jones, extra pass out. Beautiful zone offense. Boyd's 3, though, no good as Teray put a perfect pass on Boyd. But Darren Boyd couldn't knock it down. He's now 2 for 6 from downtown. 10:30 to go at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Martin Methodist gets the stop. Can they turn it into points? Whitmore handles a tough pass and will have to back it out. Now throws it away. 14 Martin Methodist turnovers. Boyd down the lane. Gets it to go in the foul. And Georgetown continues to punish Martin Methodist for these turnovers. Jenkins commits his 2nd. It's the team's 3rd. And now 22 points off of turnovers for Georgetown in the game. Rashad Bishop now in for Teray. Excellent work through that against that zone defense these last few possessions by Michael Teray. Not only movement, but his passing has been exquisite. Darren Boyd to the line. First time today at the line for the redshirt freshman. He's an 82% foul shooter. He is the 3rd Tiger into double figures. Can't get the free throw to go. A bad miss. Georgetown now 2 for 5 from the line. Jenkins working baseline on Boyd. Got Bishop in the air, and Boyd comes in late to try to help with the block. And I think Darren Boyd will get called for the foul. It'll be Darren Boyd's 3rd and the team's 6th. So Georgetown now has Kyron Jones, Buda Jones, and Darren Boyd all with 3 fouls with 10:07 remaining. Jenkins is 2 for 2 from the line tonight. Make it 3 for 3.
Checking in for the Tigers, number 2, Chucky Wilson.
It's his 5th straight 20-point-plus game here tonight. Give Jenkins now 22 for the Redhawks. Back to a 15-point Georgetown lead at 65-50. 10 minutes remaining in this Mid-South Conference tussle. Martin Methodist has gone now back to the man-to-man on this possession. Doing this with Kyron Jones on the bench for Georgetown. 10 seconds. Bishop coming for the screen. Wales now back to Wilson. Shot clock at 3. Back to Wales in the corner. Floater from 10. Got it to go. And Wales steals the inbound pass. Back to Wilson. Wilson inside. Puts it in. 4 in a row for the Tigers. Jaquay Wales making things happen on both ends, and now another Martin Methodist turnover. Georgetown sensing the kill here. Bishop for the slam. Timeout, Martin Methodist. Wow, what an explosion. All starting with Jaquay Wales' late clock offense, turning into defense, and then Chucky Wilson, the perfect pass to Rashad Bishop, and the lead has exploded to 21 with 9:16 to go, and Martin Methodist needing a timeout. 71-50. Georgetown has erupted here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Jaquay Wales with a season high 9 assists, 1 off of a career high, and just turned this game up on its head with his late clock offense, and then the defense off the inbound. Chucky Wilson follows suit. 26 points off of 16 Martin Methodist turnovers, and Georgetown has blown this game open. And immediately off the beginning of play, Adrian Hudson blows right by Trey Jones, is into the game for the first time in the half, and Trey Jones commits his 2nd foul. It's the team's 7th. Adrian Hudson's had a quiet half and really quiet day in general. He has 11 points on the day on 4 of 14 shooting, just 1 assist. In fact, Martin Methodist, as Hudson misses the free throw, but Buda Jones can't grab it. Sively has it swatted away by Buda Jones. Just 5 assists on the afternoon for Martin Methodist. Came today leading the Mid-South Conference at 16 a game. Jones with another block, by the way. That's the 9th block of the day for Georgetown. Are you kidding me, Buda Jones? Now hits one seemingly from Los Angeles, and Georgetown has blown the game open. The 10th Tiger 3, 74-50. El-Gahari down the lane, out of control, and Buda Jones rips it away from Brown, and the Tigers keep pushing. Johnson up ahead. Rashad Bishop is fouled going up by Darren Jenkins. Jenkins 3rd and the team's 4th. Bishop can't get the bounce. Michael Teray in for Buda Jones. Really good night for Jones all the way around, offensively and defensively. Buda Jones, 12 points, 7 rebounds, has a handful of blocks once more. He's among the nation's leaders in shot blocking. Bishop gets the second here. 6 points now for Bishop. This has been maybe the most balanced offensive attack for Georgetown the entire season, coming off of a nightmare offensive night 1 week ago against Thomas More. Jenkins with the hesitation right around Wilson. Can't get it off the glass. Wilson's coming. Chucky Wilson up ahead and is fouled on the drive. Teray with the follow. None of that mattered as Wilson was bumped at around the three-point line. And I think Hudson's going to get called for the foul. It'll be his first and the team's fifth. 25-point lead for Georgetown. Martin Methodist only loss of the year came against Shawnee State. They were blown out in that one, losing 83-54. Bishop hands off to Trey Jones. Take their time. Georgetown now has a chance to evaluate some things here. Try and figure out who can be the second point guard for this team as DeQuay Wales is on the bench. And now Chucky Wilson gets a little lazy here. This side, Hudson lays it in. Second basket of the half for Adrian Hudson. He has 13. 7:45 remaining. Georgetown, again, still comfortably in control here. 75-52. Hudson trying to draw a charge. Can't do it. That pass deflected in the corner. Jenkins got it. Then Wilson got a finger on it last. Georgetown turns it over for the 13th time. Georgetown has 17 assists tonight, 10 steals, and 10 blocks. It's not often you see a team go into double digits in all three categories there. And I'm sure when the coaching staff sees that at the end of the game, they are going to love that. Jenkins, long three, is off the iron. And down on the floor, Teray saves it, or tried to, and he stepped on the baseline. Georgetown in this half is 15 out of 20 from the field. As the stats update here, up in my vantage point, the Tigers shooting 75% here in the first half, or in the second half, I should say. Only 3 of 5 from downtown. They have gotten to the rim seemingly any time they've won, and especially been able to get out in transition. Hudson, contested three, not there. Wilson has the board. Now Teray up with it, and he'll bring it into the front court for the Tigers. Wales can run some time. 7 minutes left. Here is Teray. 15-footer is blocked by El Gahari as he telegraphed that. Boyd in the corner, shot clock down to 3. Johnson, long, 2, short, tried to chase it down. A scrum for it. Eventually going to come into the hands of Boyd, who had Jenkins on top of him, and I think they're going to call this a tie-up, and they will. Georgetown will keep it. .635 remaining. Georgetown connected on 15 of its first 20 shots here in the second half. Unbelievable. Easy to see they were more than antsy to get out on the floor after that offensive nightmare against Thomas More. Teray's three is no good, and Darren Boyd chases down the offensive board, the 9th offensive board of the night for Georgetown. Boyd working right side, wide open all the way inside. El Gahari came over, it left the pass to Bishop for the slam. The 18th assist of the night for Georgetown on 32 made baskets. For all that Georgetown did wrong a week ago offensively at Thomas More, they are doing that and then some right tonight. Dribble penetration has been there whenever Georgetown has wanted it, and Martin Methodist has had no answer. Hudson trying to work inside around Bishop, and Hudson lays it in, and Martin Methodist will take a timeout. We'll take one with them. 5:59 remaining. Georgetown has been white hot from the field in the second half and has blown open an 8-point halftime lead now to 23, just under 6 minutes to play. Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Martin Methodist will come with some backcourt pressure out of the timeout, just seeing if they can change the flow of the game. Of course, Georgetown loves to play at a high pace. They'll come with the trap. Wales now to Teray. Georgetown's going to worry about getting it across the timeline. They'll eventually do it to Bishop. Rashad Bishop going to try and go one-on-one off the glass. Can't get that one to go. Not a bad idea there for the freshman, and now Hudson fires it into his own bench, and it's just been that kind of night for the Redhawks. The 17th Martin Methodist turnover of the night, and Georgetown will have it on the other side of the immediate timeout. 5:44 remaining. Georgetown on its way to its 8th win of the season, barring something crazy. The Tigers, though, look like they're going to snap that 2-game losing streak as they lead by 23 here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Georgetown will have Jaquay Wales, Seth Johnson, Darren Boyd, Michael Teray, and Rashad Bishop on the floor with 5:44 remaining. And a comfortable now 23-point lead. Wales dribbling himself into a corner here and finds it to Johnson. Georgetown still got to get it across the timeline. Johnson finds it to Bishop, and now Teray, who just barely keeps that foot in play on the sideline. Martin Methodist trying to pick up the pace. Boyd inside, and that'll be an offensive foul. Boyd had Seth Johnson wide open in the corner for a three and decided to try to do something fancy himself. Instead, he picks up his 4th foul. It's Georgetown's 15th turnover there. That's a freshman type of play there from Darren Boyd. Not one he makes very often, but a rare error there as Johnson had nobody within 15 feet of him in the corner to launch a three. Hudson eventually picks it up. Left-handed pass, another bad one from Hudson. It has just been a night to forget for Adrian Hudson. He has 15 points, but only 1 assist and a handful of passes like that have just been nowhere close to the intended target. Now 18 Redhawks turnovers. Chucky Wilson back in. Michael Teray kind of lurking behind the defense here. Bailey Talley trying to keep a tab on him as Martin Methodist again continues with the full court pressure. Johnson has it stolen. Marcus Lee can't get it to go, but he is fouled by Johnson. Johnson's second, team's 9th. Chris Briggs wants a foul called there as Lee came in aggressive on Johnson. Marcus Lee puts in his first point of the afternoon. 5:15 remaining. Teray and Devin Klein and getting a little too personal there on the near side. The official telling him cut it out. Darren Boyd having a laugh about it on the opposite block. Everything clean after the missed free throw from Lee. The Redhawks continue with this pressure. Wales skies high. Now Georgetown can get into their offense here. And the Redhawks still extending out here. Near side, Chucky Wilson with it. Wilson in the lane, finds it off to Teray, nowhere to go with it. Boyd now with 8 seconds. Picked up the dribble, now to Teray with 5. Michael Teray through the lane and gets called for the walk. That shot's going to count. Oh, I thought they called the walk. They're going to call a foul on Marcus Lee there instead of a walk, and they'll also say the shot does not count. Interesting sequence there. So Georgetown will get it with 20 seconds on the shot clock now. Boyd with the crossover on Sively, but backs out. Tigers right now working a little more offense, and Coach Briggs wants his team to spread it out. Wales with 8. He'll have a speed advantage. Backdoor lob, Chucky Wilson with the slam. I told you he's 6'2", but he can jump as high as anybody on this team. Chucky Wilson with his best night for Georgetown. He has 14. Klein's 3, no good. Sively with the rebound inside. Good job by Wales to hold his ground there on the post. 79-55. This has been a brutally efficient night offensively for Georgetown. A few too many turnovers you could live with, but nevertheless, the Tigers have done just about everything else you could ask for offensively. Here is Wales with the shot clock winding down. Wales to Teray, straight ahead. He'll take a 3 that was partially blocked by Talley. And now Lee will try and push the issue for the Redhawks. He'll take a 3 that's not there, gets his own rebound back. The Redhawks operating right now with both Jenkins and Hudson on the bench. Lee gets the follow inside. First field goal for Marcus Lee. And Georgetown will take a full timeout. 3:31 remaining. Georgetown looking just for a clean finish here as the Tigers 3:31 away from going to 5-3 in Mid-South Conference play. They lead 6-1 Martin Methodist, 79-57 on stretch. Not sure if we're going to see either Darren Jenkins or Adrian Hudson return to this game for the Redhawks, as they are both remaining on the bench out of the timeout. Jenkins sitting behind the coaching staff, and Hudson over on the bench with a towel over his head. Their nights may be done. Still 3:30 to go, and Johnson has it in the front court. Georgetown doing this right now with Kyron Jones, a long breather on the bench as Boyd misses a 3. It's been a while since we've seen Kyron Jones. His night might also be done in this one. Buda Jones has now returned for Georgetown. Trey Jones trying to make something happen inside. Pass down on the end line, and it's going to go over to Georgetown. Good effort there by Trey Jones. Forced that play to really fall apart for the Redhawks. The 19th turnover for Martin Methodist. And Boyd going to run the show. Seemingly over these last 2 minutes and 54 seconds, Jaquay Wales out of the game. Wales has tied a career high with 10 assists tonight. Let's see what Trey Jones can do here. Shot clock at 10. Jones trying to work inside, threw it away, and an offensive foul. It was either going to be an offensive foul or just a common turnover. Instead, Trey Jones picks up his 3rd foul of the game, and it's the team's 10th. Georgetown's got a little sloppy here as of late, now up to 17 turnovers. So again, Coach Briggs, Coach Meyer, Coach Carlton will certainly be addressing that for the rest of tonight and into tomorrow in preparation for Georgetown's Monday afternoon game against Cumberland as Talley misses the turnaround jumper inside. Seth Johnson just took that rebound away from Buda Jones. You don't see that often. Buda Jones, 2 rebounds away from a double-double, and his teammate Seth Johnson just cost him one. Wilson over to Seth Johnson, lets a 3-ball fly, too strong. Chucky Wilson gets the offensive rebound and is told to back it out and start running clock. Wilson's going to decide to work inside to Johnson, now over to Trey Jones. Under 2 minutes remaining as C.J. Wilson came for the steal for the Redhawks. But Georgetown will keep it with 9 to shoot. Trey Jones, tough pass to Boyd. Now Darren Boyd works with 5. Boyd over to Seth Johnson. Going to have to get it up. He will. Off the left iron. And now a foul is going to be called on either Seth Johnson or Buda Jones going for the rebound. And now we've got double technicals called. Buda Jones gets called for the original foul. It's his 4th. And I think Darren Boyd and Aaron Whitmore just got called for technicals. I think it was Boyd. And if it is on Boyd, that's his 5th. Didn't see any kind of pushing and shoving between the two players. Again, I believe it was Boyd and Whitmore that were called for double techs as they were walking towards the other end. Or perhaps they called the technical on Buda Jones. The technical on Martin Methodist was called against Aaron Whitmore, and I believe the technical for Georgetown was assessed to Buda Jones. So Buda Jones does now foul out. Aaron Whitmore misses the free throw. And now Georgetown will send Chad Omer into the game for the first time, the freshman out of Taylor Mill, Kentucky. He'll replace Darren Boyd. It's the 6th appearance of the season for Chad Omer. Whitmore gets the second free throw. He now has 4, and Whitmore will head out. Evan Hill will take his place, 6'5 senior from Leicester, Alabama. It's his 4th appearance of the season, first since December the 10th. 1:40 to go, 21-point Georgetown lead. They've gotten it done on both ends here in this ballgame. Jones backs it out to Wilson. Wilson, Euro step, jump pass, extra pass to the top. Trey Jones down the lane and an offensive foul. The defender for Martin Methodist, I believe that's Hill, was camped out the entire way and a little shaken up there as I think Jones got a knee up high to the chest. But that's the 4th foul called on Trey Jones. Near side, Klein will let a 3-ball fly. It is well short, and Trey Jones had it popped out of his hands by Hill. And I'll say Jones touched it last, so Martin Methodist will get it back. The ball poked away by Chad Omer. Omer going this side. Klein coming to meet him. Chad Omer able to finish. Nicely done by the freshman to take it coast to coast. And Chad Omer on the board here for Georgetown with 50 seconds remaining. This side of 3 is not there. Bishop tips it into the hands of Seth Johnson. Trey Jones backs it out. 25 seconds remaining. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chad Omer, 3. Off the back iron, pulled down by Talley. 15 seconds, 2-on-1 this side. Lee has the pass knocked away by Trey Jones and out of bounds. 14 seconds to play. 21 turnovers for Martin Methodist tonight is a season high. It has led directly to 28 Georgetown points. The big difference in this one. Klein, step back. Off the iron. Second effort missed by Talley. And Georgetown will walk it up as they hold Martin Methodist to its second lowest point total of the season. And Georgetown picks up a much-needed win here in league play as the Tigers blow away Martin Methodist in the second half for an 81-58 win. Georgetown improves to 8-3 on the year and 5-3 in conference play. Martin Methodist sees its 5-game win streak come to an end. The Redhawks now 10-2 on the year and 6-2 in league play. Balanced scoring effort for Georgetown tonight. Chucky Wilson has a Georgetown career high 14 points. Buda Jones 12 points, 8 rebounds, had a handful of blocks as well. Kyron Jones didn't see much action as the second half went along. He finished with 11 and 7. Darren Boyd with 10. Jaquay Wales 8 points, ties a career high with 10 assists tonight. Seth Johnson, big night for him, 7 points, 6 boards. Michael Teray in his return to the action finishes with 9. Chad Omer had that late bucket for his only points. Rashad Bishop also, want to give him credit as well. 8 points off the bench, 3 of 4 from the floor. Darren Jenkins, the high point man for Martin Methodist with 22. Adrian Hudson with 15. So a good night all the way around, and a night that the Tigers really needed as they come off with a huge win. The Tigers hit 15 of their first 20 shots in the second half to put this game to bed, and Georgetown picks up the conference win by a score of 81-58. Our next broadcast will come this Monday when Cumberland University comes to town for a men's basketball conference tussle. That game rescheduled, and now this coming Monday, that game will tip at 1 p.m. here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. We will have the coverage for you here, and then Georgetown will go on the road the following weekend. My thanks to our entire Tiger Sports Network crew, giving you all the sights and sounds here, and they've done a fantastic job all year long. And I definitely want to give them credit because they make everything happen up here. I'm just fortunate enough to sit here and describe what's going on. My name is Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Georgetown returns to its dominating ways as they blow away Martin Methodist. Your final, Georgetown 81, Martin Methodist 58. You've been watching Georgetown College men's basketball on Stretch.